Oh yeah, I was
okay.
recording it earlier.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
It's been recording earlier.
That's the great thing about
Just before, I think you...
This podcast is brought to you by Madeline's.
Costco.
The French butter cookie. Oh, so good for you.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Butter. Oh yeah, butter.
Made out of a shell.
Those are beautiful and delicious when they're chocolate dipped. Have you ever had that?
You could do them, you know.
I think so.
Yeah, so
I think
good.
I have.
So good.
I think I have
I
had it.
got an inch.
Is that... Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Just
Hey!
Talk Podcast, episode 103.
Woo!
I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bendo. To your left, I did it again. I did it again.
It's
To
all
your
good.
left,
Oh my god.
Panda Mike.
Hi.
To your right, Tommy B.
Hello.
That's right. What's up, everyone?
Yes. I'm back. Sorry I was absent.
He's back. Yes, that's right. He's back. He couldn't make it last week. Like,
Yes.
really couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's times where we might be late or
Have a frog in your throat.
Yeah.
or something.
We all have day jobs.
True. Yeah, I mean that's usually how it goes. Right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
usually how it goes.
In the hospital.
If this is
Yeah.
your first time watching us or listening to us, we are three friends who talks about life, food, and anything pop culture and nerd culture related.
Yep.
And we give you guys our opinions about it. So,
Two amigos and a panda.
Two
two amigos and a panda. I like that. I
That was like a
like
lightning
that.
bolt and something else.
I like that.
Huh? I thought it was a lightning bolt and something else.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Hashtag that.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, but
A lightning bolt and something else.
Yeah, but two amigos and a panda is kick ass. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Hey,
Kick ass, right?
definitely.
So we're gonna start this off with Mike's topic, actually.
Yep. So
Go
I
for
actually
it. Take it
brought up-
away.
I know usually when like we started out with like doing a bunch of like comic book stuff and like movies and superheroes basically.
We still do.
Yeah, we do. It's kind of like our thing that we do. Besides everything else. But I was actually thinking about it and I watched it the other day and I was like really thinking about it and I was like, how come you don't hear a lot about it? It's like it's superhero stuff in a way. And I'm like, it's a real human being trying to save people. And I'm like, isn't that like what a superhero is? And, you know, I had some questions and I'm just like, we got to talk about this. I'm like, it's KickAss. Like, there's been 2 installments of it so far. And it's like, we're waiting for the 3rd because I know that they did open it up for that. And I'm just like, yeah, like, where's the 3rd one at? You know, it took them almost like, I think 3 years to make the 2nd one after they made the 1st one. And I'm just like, man, like, I think it'd be kind of neat to be like a guy that would be like a superhero, though I don't know what my name would be.
Right.
No, we
Panda
know what it
Man.
would be. Yeah, there you go.
So Kick Ass is directed by Matthew Vaughn, and it's actually a comic book written by Mark Millar and drawn by John Romita Jr. And it's just a fantastic series. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. There is a 2nd one, and I believe there is a 3rd one also.
The movie or the comic
Comic book. I think the comic book is actually already out. Let me check really quick. But I know I read the first one. I have the first one in issue form, not in graphic novel format.
Okay.
But Kick-Ass was one of those, I don't want to say revolutionary books, but it was one of those books they were like, what would happen if, you know, a normal average guy decided to take, in this case a teenager, decided to become a superhero.
Right.
You know, what would happen?
Streets.
Take it to the streets and just like freaking go at it. Like
Kick
kids.
ass.
Kick ass, right, exactly. And so in the movie, Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Dave Lazowski.
Quicksilver.
Yep. And then Chloe Grace Moretz, she's amazing. She plays Hit Girl, which is funny. I fell in love with her.
How can you not?
And then obviously we have Nick Cage as Big Daddy.
Yes.
Big Daddy.
Doing his best Adam West impersonation.
And actually the other Quicksilver is in this movie.
Yeah,
too.
that's the funny thing. It's like everybody's there.
They're both in this movie.
Yeah.
So Kick-Ass. This came out 2010. The movie came out 2010.
And then the 3rd one, or the 2nd one came out 3 years later.
Okay. So 2013.
Which I was like 3 years. I was like, wow, that's It's not as long as, you know, like Avatar per se, but in general speaking, 3 years, that's a long time. Because I know when
it's
it came
about
out...
average.
Okay.
It's about average for
I
a
didn't know
movie.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I knew when, like, it came out, everybody was like, KickAss 2? Like, it came out? Like, where? When? You know, it didn't seem like there was much, like...
Well,
trailers?
Well, there was.
Ah.
There was. It's hard to kind of go back into 2013, but it was promoted.
We'll go back there.
it was promoted because the first one did so well.
Right.
It was but there was some kind of from what I remember, because Jim Carrey was in the second one.
Yeah.
And there was some kind of a slight controversy where Jim Carrey didn't want to promote the movie because of the violence and all the things they did in that movie, and the topics that that the movie was trying to convey. There was that, from what I remember. I'm not sure if there was another thing that happened, but it was marketed just the way the first one was marketed.
Right.
It was one of those. It was at a time where the Marvel Studios movies were finally getting their things going.
Right, yeah.
Their well-oiled machine now going, and it was kind of overshadowed by that.
Makes sense. I think it sucks, but makes sense.
Maybe a little bit too early, or just at the wrong time.
The wrong time. I don't think it was too early. I think it was just the right time because it's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I think it was just again being overshadowed by, let's see, at the time 2013, Man of Steel came out, so they were so DC and Warner Brothers were trying to get their superhero game going with Man of Steel, and Man of Steel made it was a big deal because, oh my God, Superman's back. Right, so that was there. I'm sure some Marvel movies came out 2013. I know that for a fact.
When did the Dark Knight come out?
Dark Knight?
Yeah, the Dark Knight, was that 2008? 2008?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
2008.
maybe it was.
And then Dark Knight Rises. I want to say Dark Knight Rises came out 2012. Like
13?
No, it's not.
And we have a winner. 2012.
Wow. Okay. All right.
4 years.
Yeah.
Anyways, KickAss. Back to KickAss. What were you thinking? Was that your first time watching it? Or
No. It's been a few times since I've seen it, but it's just I haven't seen it for a while.
Right.
So I know it's on Amazon Prime, and so I decided to watch it again.
What made you want to watch
That's
KickAss?
a good question.
Yeah, because I know there's other movies on Amazon Prime or Netflix where I'm like, it's on my queue that some of my movies that I just want to watch, but I'm just like
I've
I don't want to watch
lost
it.
on my queue. I'm like, just scanning around, being like, what else is on here?
Well, it's like if I'm on Netflix, it's like I'll go to Coco.
Okay.
But
so KickAss, what made you go watch it?
Some of the action scenes are actually really good. I just like how they put the movie together, and I just like the ending of it. It's like, it's that good old superhero movie. The hero comes in at the end of the movie and saves the day.
Right.
Shoots a bazooka into the villain.
Which I'm not even gonna do a spoiler alert because
you can't be a spoiler with
it's
this.
2013. That's 6 years ago.
10. If you KickAss.
2013.
The
You said
original.
13 was-
sorry,
not KickAss too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, Mike.
Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, I didn't coffee, guys.
No. In the comic book, that didn't happen. The bazooka didn't happen.
Man,
It works. It works in the movie.
What happened in the comic book?
I forget, to be honest
It's
with you.
been a while.
I forget.
Yeah.
But in the comic book,
Come here.
it was cool too. I was surprised when they did that. I was at a time where I was a purist, I guess. In my that early ages.
No.
Where I was just like, why did they do that? Why couldn't they just follow it? And I was like, but it worked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too. They didn't change it up. Well, I guess they did change it up too much. It was completely different, but it was cool. It was dope.
And then some of the songs. Actually, I was thinking about the song.
Wow, you're the one.
Single song.
The
from
one
You're the one
song.
who watched it recently, so
Yeah.
well,
Dude,
we're
damn, that's.
Well, I'll probably have to play it later, which is fine.
Was it like techno music or anything like that? Or
Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 dun, dun. That one?
no, keep going. What else?
Which
song is that?
I'm done.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's part of KickAss.
bum, bum,
You can say that. Like, is that something that goes bum, 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 bum? You're like, oh shit, that's like every song. Oh man.
Stop, cut. No, I'm joking.
Hold on, I'll make you feel
Okay.
a little bit better for really quick here. Okay,
boy.
so do you remember KickAss, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just get the whole movie in your brain, McLovin, all that kinds of stuff, the people that are associated with him before KickAss too.
Okay.
I'm at my old liquor store. This guy comes in, and he's sitting there and he's shopping around. He's doing all this kinds of stuff, and I'm just kind of like, "You look very familiar. Do I know you from someplace?" He's like, "Yeah, I do some acting here and there." And I'm like, "Do I? How do I know you?" He goes, "All right, bro, check it out." He's like, "You seen Kick-Ass?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Remember that dude that was the guy's bodyguard that shot the bazooka? That's me, Stu Large." And I was like, "Yes, that is you." He's like, "What's up, man? Nice to meet you." And I was like, "I know you." It was like one of those weird moments where you're like, "I know you from something, but I don't know what the fuck
I
it
know,
is."
right,
Yeah.
right.
So Stu Large from Kick-Ass was. I was like,
Wow.
"What?" Really cool guy. Really cool.
That's-
Big. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he
So-
looks that big. You know,
Yeah. So
That's cool.
anyway,
That's cool.
just
Okay.
random.
small world. Man. Small world.
All right, so yeah, you got some questions here.
So
Go for it.
The first one I thought about was like, would you ever want to be a real life superhero? Like
Yes.
I said, for me, I said yes. But I don't know what character I would be or what superhero name I would have. You know, but for you guys, I mean, someone said yes.
Can I flesh that out really quick?
Oh my!
Would you
gosh.
want to be like a real life superhero that's hated on, or a real life superhero that's like loved?
Am I always a villain? Because I don't think I am.
Well, you know.
I always choose like the light side.
What's
Well,
the
well,
line
the
from
good side of
Dark
the
Knight?
Force.
You live long enough to. What was
You hold on. You die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
that? Dang.
Well, first of all, yes. With a little caveat, I want to actually have superpowers. That's the only time I will want to become a superhero. Because I want to have superpowers.
What was that team called again?
Which one? Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No.
What team?
From when we did our
Oh, you mean
Ready Player
you
One
mean my
special.
dusk?
Dusk.
Yes.
Deadly
Dusk.
Unified Silent Killers.
Killers.
Bam! I remember that shit all day.
That is more like if I was like trained from the very young age to be like a ninja assassin.
Right,
That's
okay.
that's
We
different.
have to
But,
be a male.
but
like,
yeah.
Electra. That's just
No. Get it? Nightwing.
Oh,
Nightwing.
yeah,
Not Electra.
buddy.
Nightwing.
Yes.
Except the dark side
Yeah.
of Nightwing. But yes, I would want to be a superhero, but I want to have superpowers. But if I didn't have superpowers, I would have to be trained from like a young age, so that by the time I'm like
almost like Mindy.
what's that?
Almost like Mindy.
Mindy?
The girl.
From Kick-Ass?
Oh right, yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Trained at a young age so that where I am now at my age, I'd be like a master, whatever, right? But to answer your question, I feel like if you're a superhero, you would want to be loved. I don't know why you would want to be hated.
Tommy wants to be hated. That's why.
But then at that point,
It's because you know why I was thinking about it.
because if you're gonna do superheroic acts, that is what a superhero is. Then everyone is pretty much going to love you. There's no other way why they would hate you, unless it's kind of like a Civil War situation where you have to choose kind of a side.
Right.
Then maybe some people might not agree with what you're doing, but I don't think they would like hate you per se.
What about a Punisher?
But then you would still be a superhero.
Right. So there's another question. Like, the Punisher.
But see, the Punisher is not like he's the
Vigilante. Or
what is that?
Vigilante. You got this accent going on tonight, man.
But yeah, he would be a vigilante, and
I don't say that word often.
but he's not even like a hero too,
He's
per
not?
se. He's he's what they call the anti-hero and stuff. So
What was it? What we said? Like the Batman is one bad day away from being the Punisher, and the Punisher is one bad day away from being the Joker.
Ooh.
Blow your mind.
Yep. So for you, would you want to be a superhero?
No.
Nope.
What? I would not want to be a superhero.
What's the matter with you?
Because it's like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Because if you think about superhero comics, there's people, for example, Superman. Let's take the most iconic Superman hero out there. He has the hardest job where he has to save everybody all day, every day. What if he misses one? And then if he misses someone, then that's like people end up hating him. Like, why wasn't he there for John who fell off the thing or whatever? And it's
especially with Superman being a very omnipotent kind of being.
Yes.
Like he is a god, right? Like a demigod. So it's like
but that's why he can do it, because he has all.
But he can't do it.
He can't do everything.
Can't do everything.
It's like a gift and a curse. Like if you think about that, like so much responsibility, and if you miss, it's like you're fucked if you do and you're fucked if you don't. And you can't. And not to mention also too, like. You think about it, okay, it's cool for like a little bit to be like, oh my god, I save people. And like that's the premise of it starting. But think about trying to do that for 20 years straight, like the amount of stress from constantly trying to save everyone.
Yeah.
Gotta think of it that way, man. Yeah. I would not want to do that.
It all depends on one universe too.
Okay, that's true too.
But that's like a whole different aspect. Because we're taking a normal person that wants to be a superhero without any powers.
Right.
So your context, I think, is a little off.
Well, my context would be off too, because I want to have super powers.
But you did say though that you're okay. Like you would do it with a caveat, though.
So here's the question.
Well, that is like the caveat.
That goes into the next thing where I'm like, is there any real life heroes now?
See, now we have to define what heroes is.
What
heroes are, right?
Right?
Like heroes can be cops. Your cops, your firefighters,
Well, if it's just
doctors and stuff.
Person.
Yeah, it could just be a
fellow
doctor.
man.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a hero for that one day, for that specific moment. So yeah, at that point, it really, I guess in a sense, what is your definition of a hero at that point, right? Like, what would you consider heroic acts? Because I feel like, yes, there are real life superheroes. Like I feel like, the cops out there just putting themselves at the line of, I don't want to say the line of fire every day, but like just.
It could be.
But right, that's the thing. Like, but you just never know, right?
Yeah. Well, also, let's flesh that out for just 2 seconds. Like when you're thinking about, okay, everybody always says like, oh, cops and stuff, right? But how many times right now are also those heroes who are perceived, to be heroes that are cops that are normal are also hated on in everyday life?
Because there's the other things that they do that are not like, come on now, like the whole beating situation and all that kind of real
racism,
world, right?
All that kinds of stuff.
Right. So yeah, there's that aspect of the thing. So it's one of those things where you're just like, you were supposed to protect and serve people, not fucking beat and kill people.
Right, exactly.
So. Doctors too, like they're saving lives every day, or at least surgeons. They're doing their best to do it, right?
That's a hard gig. If you think about the closest thing to God in like human form, is there's a line from a movie Malice with Alec Baldwin, and he's like upset. He's like, this lawyer. He's like, do you know how hard it is to get good grades into school? And he's like, I'm never sick at sea. And he's like, when you're praying to God, when I'm operating on somebody's heart, who do you think you're praying to?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like it's a great little like monologue that's very iconic in the way he delivers it. But if you think about it, like that dude is basically responsible 100% for that person's life, which is kind of heroic when maybe justified in a certain way. You know, you're responsible for someone else's life, not just your own.
I know for a fact that in many serialized medical shows, there's always the drama of I couldn't save this one person because certain reasons. It always comes up
Right.
in these shows, and it's you're exactly right. Like the fact that you have the ability to save this person, but it all depends on what kind of situation it is. Like sometimes there's just I see it all everywhere, like in TV shows, especially medical ones, where like they're really trying to save them, and you just can't, you just couldn't, because at that point they're losing too much blood that you couldn't like kind of what do you call this? Couldn't maintain it, or they're just gone.
Sure.
So it's hard, yeah, and at that point, yeah, if you do save that person, you're deemed as a hero. But in a sense, if you couldn't save that person, sometimes the family member will blame you actually for it, because you're like, oh, why couldn't you save him and her or them or whatever, and you're just like, I tried, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
makes sense.
And that's, I think, the harder part about being a hero is it's not when you do the job right, it's when you miss doing the job. It's when you try to be there.
You try your best.
Yeah, and it's just you weren't able to save that person. I think that would weigh heavily on.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned too, and I think this is where you're like, just a little bit
because
earlier.
I think you guys are still kind of out of the context of it's a normal human being,
right,
in his city that can only do so much.
Right.
He's not trying to save everyone. He's just trying to save his fellow man that needs it.
Go ahead, Rian.
You go first. You go first.
I mean, like, the funny thing is, like, that's a beautiful thought. That's a very utopian thought. It's absolutely, like, yes, he's trying to save every man that's in that, and however you phrased it. But when you start...
His fellow man.
But when you start analyzing it, you can't save everyone. Sadly.
I understand that, and I'm pretty sure he understands that.
But imagine how that would feel, and how much that must weigh. Let's look at... You remember you watched The Dark Knight?
Yes.
All right, The Dark Knight with the Joker.
Yes.
All right, you got that scene
Yeah.
where he kidnaps Harvey Dent
and
his girlfriend, Maggie Gyllenhaal, at the same time.
Yeah, but he...
Rachel Dawes.
Rachel! And he has to make a choice.
Answer the phone.
Right? He has to make a choice who he's going to save.
But he tricks him.
Don't focus on that. Just think about, he has to make a choice on who he has to save. He can only save one or the other. He can't save both. There's no Robin yet. There's nothing, there's no Nightwing. There's nothing. He doesn't have a team. It's just him. And remember what happens when he has to make that choice and someone dies and he's sitting alone in that penthouse looking at that being like, oh shit, dude, I wish I could have saved someone more.
But he got tricked into it.
But that doesn't matter, though.
It doesn't matter.
Like, his choice was to
so
save
it's the principle
Rachel.
behind it.
What's that?
It's the principle behind it.
Yeah, that was always the thing with the Joker. Like, even with the fairy.
Yeah.
You couldn't save both.
Yeah.
But basically, and technically, Batman didn't even save them. It was the people that didn't pull the trigger, because they were like, no, there's good people on the other fairy. They're not going to do it. And then the other fairy had the same mentality. They're like, if they did it, they would have blown us up by now. So it wasn't even Batman that saved them. It was
themselves.
It was humanity.
But what's funny about that scene, that murderer, that killer, I think it's Tiny Zeus Lester. He's like, give me the trigger.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't want to know what it feels like to do something that I've done.
Oh,
have that
right.
sit
That's
on your
right.
conscience.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like a murderer and a villain is saying that. That's a very philosophical thing to think about.
Sure.
Yeah. In the real world context, I feel like there's a progression. Yes, you were talking about he's just, he was just
protecting
his own city and stuff.
Or within his own
But
city.
if you remember the second one, they kind of made a group. So if you start thinking about it, it progresses to, okay, cool, I'm saving this small city, this small block, right?
Right.
But then once you start making a group, now you have other connections to go to different blocks or different cities. Think of it like I mean, obviously they were in New York, so if you put it in Marvel's context, there's
Brooklyn.
there's Brooklyn, there's Queens, there's
Manhattan.
well, that is the whole Manhattan. There's Hell's Kitchen, right, in Marvel and stuff. You start seeing all these other heroes in these other places, and the more I feel like the deeper you get into the whole heroic sack, the more and you start going to different cities, the more villains will come. Which hence why you have to form a group, and at that point you're not just protecting one city, you're protecting every city. So it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So for which is where we're already kind of at. You were just thinking the city. We're like, yeah, we get it. We get that whole idea of like, okay, cool. It's we're in the real world, but the idea of, well, okay, cool. You have your partner there. You're in KickAss 2. They have that group. You have your partner there. How about if he dies? You couldn't save your partner over there because you were focused on what you were doing here. But the fact that you're already in a group, because the progression of how that's how it usually leads up to. You can just be one person. One person is trying to do one good thing.
Sure.
And then there's another person that's trying to do one good thing there. And if we're talking about superheroes, I feel like eventually there's going to be a group. There's going to be a group. What is the United Nations?
Right.
That is a group of several countries banding together, trying to figure out what's best for the world.
Right. A coalition.
Right? So, if
Champions,
you put it...
Champions of Justice.
So they're heroes.
Super friends.
So for me, I get what you're saying.
Or you know what? I think they were also called like they're a Justice League. Oh my gosh.
So what are we calling them? Suicide Squad? So we completely understand. I feel like at this point we're just kind of like, okay, cool. You were thinking
I was
here.
already here.
Yeah, we were already here.
But you guys are like
because
expanding it.
Yeah, expanding it because again. But if we are talking about just here, then yes, like I feel like I would still want to become a superhero. But jumping on to the next thing, I'd probably make it. Oh man, that's the thing. It's like, how far can I make it? Like how long will I
be able to survive?
be able to survive doing it? I just don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like because for KickAss, you watched it recently.
Yeah.
He was getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
He was getting,
Well, the first day you try to help out somebody, or like help someone not like steal the car.
Oh, dude.
Jesus. First he gets stabbed and then walks out in the middle of the street, and he gets run over, and the guy freaking drives off. It's just like stuff like that. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And he goes in the hospital for however many weeks, and he comes out with like plates and screws and stuff all in his body, and it's just like.
And that was just maybe in a span of a day, 2 days, or whatever. He's already like fucking beat up.
Yep.
Like, imagine what Batman went through if he was just like him falling and all that freaking crap.
Yeah. Do you remember that Alex Ross drawing of him where he takes off his shirt and his entire back is all scarred up? Like, woof, to the Lord.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would survive, to be honest with you. How about you guys?
Tommy.
Well, he already said no.
No.
So if you were to say yes,
if I
let's do it this way. I think I would. I feel like we also have to like put where we're at. Like I think that also plays a big part of where you're at. Like
South Central.
South Central. Wow.
Okay.
East LA.
Yeah.
LA in general. If you want me to answer it, for me, the only way I could survive is if I had good people around me. That's it. No man is an island. Like if you think about like the Arrow universe, if you think about the Batman universe, if you think about the Superman universe, little by little he gets these group of people that he can trust that are going to help him.
Yeah.
Like for example, Batman outsources all of his like intellect coming in to Oracle.
Right.
Like Barbara Gordon's in the Watchtower being like, okay, this is going to go on here, this is going to go on there, and then the other crimes that can be managed that aren't something that he can manage, James Gordon goes and checks it out. Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
So you have all these different pieces, and I think also too, what it's fleshed out is that becomes your sanity because there's people that are going through the same thing you were going through that you can find a commonality and be like, hey man, You know, like I just went through some serious shit. Me too. So
Right.
that's the only way I think I can survive. Like the physical challenge, okay, but the psychological warfare, I would need people around me.
Makes sense.
That's true.
I get it.
I think I would last a good amount here in Valencia. If I'm a superhero here in Valencia, California, I think I'll be all right.
Because we're out in the sticks.
Well, it's not even that. I feel like if that's okay, I would eventually take. I would have to take some kind of fighting classes, right, or like self-defense classes, right, and then obviously you don the costume and all that, and you walk around. Also, I feel like as far as where I live, it's like you would have to go to like downtown, to kind of find
something.
Trouble or whatever.
Looking for.
That's the thing. So you have to be looking. Where in Valencia, you would have to be looking for stuff.
Even then, here I'll be like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's a lot easier in the valley.
Yeah,
I think you go to a different. I feel like you just go to like Roscoe, like it's in the middle of the night or whatever. You're like, I think you'll find some you'll find something.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're looking for something, then I think you will find something.
Even then, I feel like I had a buddy of mine. He was like, The Walking Dead's bullshit. People are just not that mean to each other. And I was like,
wow.
What do you mean? He's like, yeah, push comes to shove. Like, yeah, when there's famine and all that, but genuinely, people want to help each other out. You get some weird fucking crazies out there, but he's like, people want to help each other. You really?
Not everyone's like that.
How about a high percentage of it? A high percentage of people are good people, deep down. Now, don't get me wrong. There's definitely some fucked up shit out there, but I'll even make it even more of a contrasting thought. There's even rules in jail. Like,
That's true.
There's even rules in jail that are like, you don't fuck with this or that, and there's like a hierarchy. A shot caller or whatever you want to call it. Like, the pedophiles and all that shit, they find out you do that, you're a rapist, guess what? You get fucked up. It's been proven. So there's even like a hierarchy there, which is kind of like, hey, respect. Because you're going to be here for life. I got to be here for life. This is my home. Don't fuck around. It's the same thing with like in the street. Like, yeah, there's some fucked up people. Let's not get that twisted.
Right.
But in general, most people are pretty good. There's kind of like an underlying theme of like, people will surprise you.
Was it kind of like when that guy like beat up on that, like hit that girl?
Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Did you see that shit? What happened? Did you see how many people are like, fuck that? Where does this do that?
Exactly.
You don't do that. And he turned himself in. Luckily. But if he didn't turn himself in, what would also happen?
I don't know. What would you do in that situation?
But here's another one. What if he goes to jail? And they see that shit.
They'll probably hear about it in one way or another.
Yeah. See what I mean?
But I mean, it's like, what would you do in that situation? Like, would you be the guy to like subdue him, or what? That
What was the whole story? Because I don't know.
I don't know the whole story.
Because I don't know the whole
story.
story.
All I know is that he.
Because from what I heard is there was an argument over like a hot dog price, and then the video I see is just him punching two girls. You know what I mean? Like, and then he's running away, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" So.
Speaking of weird stories, just like, have you guys heard this one story where this guy cosplayed as Mr. Freeze and started going around his town, his neighborhood, just speaking cold weather puns, and he got arrested for it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Now, I don't know the whole context, but it was funny just because, like, I'm sure he's been like, it's freezing in here. Or I don't know, but it was funny. I didn't really read into the actual article itself.
Oh my god, so
but the fact that I saw the headline, someone was arrested because they were cosplaying as Mr. Freeze and throwing cold weather puns at people.
My god.
It was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious.
For example, going back to that, have you ever heard of, I think it's called the Guardian Angels. There's a guys in the Bronx or like New York, something like that. They dress in these red jackets, and they have like brawler gear on and stuff, and they basically walk around the subway so that if anybody starts a fight, they're there to break it up. kind of died. It was big in like the 70s or 80s. It's died down, but it's transitioned and it's big in Japan now. So there's like, if there's fights and shit like that, they're like, we'll break them up. Which is kind of a weird thing because it shows that even if there is people causing problems, there's always people looking to stop them.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Whether it's like, you know, that one situation with that one guy. Okay, cool. Maybe there wasn't anything there. I promise you, if he does that repeatedly, though, in the same location, there'll be dudes that will be waiting there being like, where's he at tonight? I know he shows up at 9 o'clock. Let's go, baby. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's there's fucked up situations, but as much as there's fucked up situations, there's also people that are looking to be like, that's not right. Justice needs to be served. If the cops aren't going to take care of it, something's going to go down. That's the thing.
Do you think you'll survive?
Being a panda, of course. We're extinct. No.
Okay. He'll survive. He's gonna survive, everyone.
No, I don't.
It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say that you can survive because I feel like if I go out there for a week, and let's say, I don't know, you find some trouble. I feel like I would survive for that week. I might get hurt or maybe injured even. But I don't think I would die right away. And so then after that, I'll just rest and recuperate, and then pretty much what KickAss would do. He would rested and shit, and then like he went back out. I don't know how long he rested for or whatever, but I'd go back out and do it again the month afterwards or whatever.
I'd definitely find some preventative stuff.
Right. At that point, you're like, okay, well, I need to change my costume, which is the whole identity stuff comes along. You're like, okay, I need to. This is costume 2.0 and shit, right? You upgrade. You
want to be able to move your neck.
Yeah. You upgrade. You upgrade.
Just turn with your body.
Yeah. No, that's how you're supposed to do it. You can't have mobility with your neck.
Can't get put in a choke with that one.
Yeah. See, so, and I feel like there's probably going to come to a point where you're going to come to a very close call, and that's where you're going to be like,
do I still want to do this?
do I still want to do this? Do I want to keep continuing? And what am I doing this for? You can start asking all these questions. Wow.
There's your superpower right there. Clear the room. No one wants to be around that.
Nice.
What just happened?
Nice.
You know what I would do to survive? I would recruit.
Well, there you go. Yeah, we started.
Then it's like a cult.
Would it be a cult? Would it be a cult?
It would be like
it would be a group.
It'd be like a gang or.
That's technically what it is, but if you think about it, like, okay, gangs were. If the mafia was there, did you ever watch Goodfellas? It was like that's all the mafia was.
I watched it.
It was there to like. I forgot the main guy's name. He's like. He was there just to offer protection from people that were trying to take other people's stuff.
Right.
And there was like a respect factor and all that shit before the cops became huge in what they are now. Yada, yada, yada. I would do the same thing. Like, if there's continuous crime and there's more people that are like fucking coming after you, why am I going to be taking them on by myself? I would be like, hey, I know you guys. I know you have special skills.
Right.
Let's do this together. And then the more people you recruit and the more people that you have, in numbers, because there's power in numbers, the better you are.
Makes sense.
Because we're pack animals. Nobody does it by themselves. I know, like, we like to have that image.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
You can do it for a little bit, and
bit.
eventually you'll be like, I need a group.
Yeah.
I need to start a group.
There's usually always a good coach behind a good player.
There you go. There you go. And then you build off of
There's the enemy. Go!
You build off of that player, and you start, like, recruiting and all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of superpowers, this coming event that's coming up.
What's happening?
Well, it's called a Super Bowl.
Hey!
For my cereal, right?
Yeah. It's a big bowl.
Fritos?
Or my salad?
It's a big bowl.
Guacamole?
You put a lot of players in it, and you start
Pounding
each other.
Like there's a jolt?
There's
Come on!
Yeah. So this
Is that it? Come on! Shazam!
So this weekend, this coming weekend actually, it is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 53.
Are you sure it's 53, not 103?
Pretty sure it's 53.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you guys going for?
Oh, my team actually made it, so. All right, Rams.
Woo! Are you going? Please don't tell me you're going. Are you going?
For the Patriots?
Yeah.
Go Patriots.
Are you going for the Patriots?
Go Rams.
Okay.
Don't really care for them.
Okay. That's fair too.
My team didn't make it. I don't really have a team, actually.
I was about to say, who is your team?
You never talked about
Who's
that.
your team?
No, I would go for the Steelers, but you know, they won
mm.
six Super Bowls. So I'd go for them.
Yeah. Cool.
But they didn't make it this
The
year.
Super Bowl is going to be the what is it? Youth versus age.
Yeah,
Brady,
yeah.
Brady and Belichick. Brady's pushing 42, 43,
Dang.
right?
3 or 44.
43, and Belichick is like in his 60s. You got the Rams quarterback who's 28, 29,
In the youngest coach in the NFL.
33. So if you think about how that's working, it's kind of like, you know, you got the youth versus the wisdom. You got the whatever you want to call it.
The energy,
Yeah.
the fucking
So it's
hopefulness and all that shit.
As a logistic person, Belichick and Brady.
Oh wait, did you even know that Brady is a little bit shorter than everybody else too in the whole NFL too?
How so?
I heard he's
Size-wise?
short.
Brady's 6'5".
I thought he was short compared to all the other ones.
Okay, even cooler.
Well, I know. I heard that like he's shorter than everybody, and I heard he can't throw the ball as far because of his arm. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of things going against.
Speak for
him.
that 5 Super Bowl rings.
Speak to the rings, baby.
I get that guy.
He needs one more.
Yeah.
He'll have
I'm
the
just
fucking
saying.
Infinity Gauntlet.
I'm just saying. I've always heard that like he was never the best of his group, and blah blah blah, and he always had to work at it to get better.
There's a lot to be said about that, though.
There
I
is.
mean, like, in realistic fashion. Like, if you think about all the quarterbacks that come into the game, and they're the first-round picks, and they, like, go out there and just balls to the wall and how long they last. And then Brady was sitting on the sidelines for how long, and now he's, like, the fucking man.
Right.
I don't know, you know? If he is somebody that has to work twice as hard and has learned how to do that, something to be said about that.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
especially with those 5 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
so.
right?
Well, it's almost like you guys heard of the bus, Jerome Bettis, for the Steelers.
Mhm.
He was a running back. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like he played until I think he was like 44, I think, or 45. But they said literally he had to, whenever he would play, he would literally after the game he'd literally have to be picked up and driven off the field because he could not walk.
Yeah.
Because this is how bad like he hurt. I was like, ugh, yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, football is pretty tough on your body, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What's the average, I think, average amount of time played in the pro leagues is like 3 to 4 years. That's
Average?
It. Yeah, average. 3 to 4 years. That's it. Because if you think about it, like, you can go into the quarterbacks, which is like forever. Then you go down to like the linemen and the running backs. Like, if you average them all together, it's like 3 or 4 years. It's
Probably.
not that long. Like, the amount of physical abuse on your body.
let alone your knees. I mean, especially being in like a lineman, you know, it's like all of them have like, what is it, ACL, MCL, like braces is on their knees.
Have you seen the one where they do this? And their fingers are all, like, all busted? Yeah. Yeah.
Mine are going all different ways.
You're not that bad.
I'm not that
You're
bad.
not that
'cause
bad.
I
I've
only
seen
played
like
4
this
years in high
finger
school.
goes like over here.
That's what tape's for.
Yeah.
Tape.
Anyways.
Okay, speaking of Super Bowl, there's this article I was reading at IGN,
Ooh.
and it piqued my interest because I have been noticing it for the past several years,
Uh-huh.
the past maybe few years, and basically it said fewer movie spots are expected to be shown at the Super Bowl. So before, the Super Bowl was this. It's not just your Super Bowl, your main event for American football, for the NFL, but it was also a marketing tool for people
It's disgusting.
What?
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
I want to hear about that in a second. Let Rihanna finish his thought.
It was a way for big movies to show their product, right?
Right.
And it was since the Super Bowl was this huge event in America that everyone actually takes a day off, or it's Sunday usually, but then for the people that are working that day, they take the day off. It's this whole it's like, in a sense, you can technically make it into an American holiday, right? The Super Bowl, right? And
It's all American.
yeah, and the whole, it's like a couple of hours too.
Yeah.
There's like the pre-show, and there's the main show, and there's the post-show, and all that stuff. And then during
Halftime show.
the halftime show, and this whole time, there'd be, every time they go on commercial breaks, they would have movie spots or commercials which actually I totally forgot to put in our notes, but I'm gonna ask a question about that. But again, it's a tool for them to like, oh, here's their movie, because there's so many millions of viewers that are watching the Super Bowl, and in a sense, when you put your movie there, they'd be like, oh yeah, I do want to watch that movie. You know, it's marketing, right? At the end of the day. But now there's fewer movies that are doing it, because if y'all didn't know, it's actually, I have the numbers here. It said it's approximately $5 million for a 30-second spot. So if you want to have a 30-second TV spot for your movie, or actually even commercial, it's $5 million. $5 million.
You ready? Here we go.
$5 million.
We're picturing it, all right? 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to make your spot.
You have 30 seconds to pitch your movie,
Pitch your movie
for $5 million.
For the NFL.
How about if you're trying to show an hour, holy crap, you're showing the whole movie. A minute and 30 seconds. That's 15 million. That could be
166,000 per second, basically. 160,000 per second.
Like that it comes out to?
Yeah, pretty much. That's like,
How much?
I think
166.
I did 5 million divided by 30. What is that? 166? Is that right? What is that? That's what it did.
5 million divided by...
5 million divided by 30 seconds.
Oh, not a camera. I don't need a camera. I need a calculator.
But like close to 160 million per second. 160,000 per second.
right. And so that's, if you're showing, again, a minute and 30 seconds, that's $15 million. That could have gone to a different kind of marketing, maybe.
Right.
Instead of the Super Bowl. And so for a lot of companies, they're just like, we don't need to waste that kind of money,
Right, yeah.
especially now in the day of like, okay, cool, you have your franchises that are set, that for a fact that they're gonna make money regardless.
Like Marvel.
Of exactly, thank you. Like not just Marvel, just Disney.
Yeah.
Right, the Disney brand. But yes, Marvel and that in their branch and stuff. But the fact that it just shows you that it's just like, okay, cool. We don't need to waste all that money. Like they're gonna go watch Avengers. They're gonna go watch
Star Wars.
Star Wars, right? They're gonna go watch all of these movies. I feel like the fact that a lot of companies are doing it less is actually smarter for them, and especially for blockbuster movies. But it's kind of hard to say too for smaller movies if you want to do that, because then at that point, if you're a smaller movie, it would make sense for you to do it.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? The idea of the Super Bowl. Oh, also, the thing that's been happening the past couple of years is that these trailers are dropping online before the Super Bowl actually airs.
That's a big thing now.
Like sometimes a day before or 2 days before. Sometimes, obviously, on the day of. And it's not just the movies; it's actually the commercials also that are dropping online. And in a sense,
I remember that. Yeah, I think there was a couple years ago it happened.
Just last year it happened actually. And I watched all the commercials last year.
Online. Not even having to go to the
Super Bowl,
game.
Yeah. And so in a sense, you're kind of losing, for not the Super Bowl event, but for the people that are tuning in for those movies, they don't have to anymore. They don't have to sit through, oh my God, I don't care about football, I just want to watch the trailer, but sometimes you have to sit through 2 hours just to get to that point. So what's your guys' thoughts about this whole situation and how there's fewer there's fewer trailers or commercials to be shown at the Super Bowl?
You want me to take it? You want to go first, Mike? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
You sure?
I just did it like 3 times.
There's so many different things that are coming to my mind. One is
I like how he's sitting there, guys, and he's like
stroking the
his
chin to think about it. Yes.
Oh, I call it
No hair on the face, but the hair on the head is all messed up.
Whatever. You should know that we're coming on camera, man.
Whatever. Like me for who I am. Okay. Advertising in general is changing. That is what I think about whenever I hear of the Super Bowl. Because the Super Bowl was the mecca of where you got, oh my god, this is the ad that's going to be on there, and this is going to be like, holy shit, this movie, this product, yada, yada, yada. Now you have websites like, when I think of movies, I think of IMDb. I don't know their numbers, but I can only imagine when their trailer drops, like Endgame, when that dropped on IMDb, that must have been viewed how many times?
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers, I haven't looked at it, but the trailer on YouTube is viewed over, like, I know it's over 1 million times already just off of YouTube.
Of course.
And those are 2 free sites. So if you think about that, you have 2 free sites that are already catering to what you want, and then you have sports, which is already kind of like segmented towards like certain people that are just like football oriented.
Right.
What I'm thinking about also too is more people are going to watch commercials not from main events, but from other things also too. And what I was thinking in my head is, okay, so you have a subscription channel. You have Netflix, you have Disney coming up, you have Amazon Prime. What if they start releasing trailers exclusively through those screening places?
Oh,
and
snap!
And you can't get a trailer anyplace else other than in those streaming services. And you can't do the thing how Netflix can't do. You can't do a screenshot of Netflix's product anywhere. You can't like record it. Yeah. Mike told me, he's like, I can't do a screenshot of like Game of Thrones or whatever. Imagine that with a commercial that's huge, only exclusive to just them. Like Disney doing like commercial for the Loki series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's what is going to happen in the streaming wars, in my opinion.
Right.
So when you have live events such as like the football or the soccer or whatever you want to call it, like unless you're a football fiend, why are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
What does it matter? I get before it was like this big event.
It was, man. There were times where I would actually just watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials, just for the TV spots.
Yeah.
So like, there's a new trailer of fucking of you know, whatever movie that was dropping that whatever trailer I was dropping that day, you know, or even whatever movie that's an upcoming movie that's coming later that year, right? Yeah, I used to do it all the time, and then it eventually got to the point where like, oh, all these trailers are online now. Why am I?
Whoever started that, like, I understood the idea, but it took away from like, this is an event,
right?
You know what I mean? Like the event wasn't just Super Bowl; it was also kind of like this marketing hysteria where it's like, oh my god, this many people's eyes are on a product. But now that you have streaming products, you can have this many eyes on a product over a period of time. You know, like you got somebody out there like a Philip DeFranco or whatever, and there's 1 million people viewing this. Why am I going to pay $5 million or $20 million or whatever it is for the Super Bowl when I could just put it on a streaming platform and it's going to get the same amount of views over a period of time?
Yeah.
Like,
so, your take on it?
Were
you? What's that?
I think it's stupid.
You think it's stupid that companies are not putting their stuff on like
the other way? I think it's stupid that they do it.
Oh, that they do it. Oh, yeah. No, I
pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so stupid. Like I said earlier. All right, think of this. All right, you got 30 seconds. Give me your thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's
you save that money.
Yeah, and it's like we're gonna charge you. It's only like gonna be like this much.
Yeah.
You know, but you got 30 seconds.
Right.
And it's like, why? It's like that's a lot of money. Like, I don't know.
And to kind of piggyback off of that, before even sometimes there's rarely any times, or there's rarely any trailer that this the debut trailer for the Super Bowl. Usually it's okay. I remember Age of Ultron. They showed the second official trailer. Okay, they showed I believe it was the second official trailer. So at that point, there's the teaser trailer, and then there's the first official trailer. So I agree. So for them to be like, okay, here's a 30-second spot, or if they want to show 2 minutes of it or whatever it is, like people have already seen your product because you got your teaser and the first official one. So why put it there again? Because I don't know.
I mean, they usually say you got to see something 7 to 10 times before you go buy it or do it.
Oh,
Nice.
For a good example is like,
I know if it's superheroes for me, maybe twice.
I get it.
No,
but,
I'm just saying.
I mean, even for me and
Interesting.
food, because like everybody knows I love eating food. The Rad Brad series on YouTube, I saw this commercial at least 25 times over the course of however many hours.
What was it for?
In-N-Out?
The Habit.
Oh,
And their new Southwest salad.
Do you think he's sponsored for it?
I have no idea, but I'm just like,
'Cause
oh my gosh.
You're pinging on something I was thinking about, where I was like, okay, taking it out of context and all that stuff is, okay, if you think about Mad Men, and you think about all these advertising agencies, it's kind of like an old formula. But how do you consume advertising? Advertising has to exist on some level, but at the same time if you're still giving it to the big networks that are dominating everything, imagine if there was a change in the guard. We're like, hey, Rad Brad, you have blah, blah, blah subscribers. Here's what we're going to do. Rad Brad brought to you by Bud Light. Every 30 seconds or at the beginning or end of a video, Bud Light. Rad Brad's drinking the Bud Light. Each view is like 20 million views per like episode.
Right.
Imagine if that happened instead. Like individual people were being represented by these big companies.
Yeah, but I talked to someone recently, and they were in the advertising world, and it was like, yeah, it's all about like target marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of weird to me because, what did I have for lunch today? I had a salad that I made at home. And I was sitting there with my laptop, and I was like, hey guys, like, thanks for watching me while I was eating my salad. You know, and it's like, really? Oh. It's like, now I gotta like go buy a salad from the Habit. I'm just like, seriously? I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But I think that's what it's getting to. Like, Tommy, flip it the other way.
Other way. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I apologize. My legs are falling asleep, so I have to move.
Yeah, Tommy dropped
You can
something.
stretch that way.
I do, but it's this leg. It's like, I can't really.
If anybody would like to sponsor us some chairs, please send them over. We need some small
Or
ones.
just like better
And a table?
chair or table actually would help out
But yeah,
and stuff. Oh my gosh, what is happening?
that's the government, guys.
They're eavesdropping on us already.
That's the red phone.
Oh my
Everybody.
god.
It's the red phone.
Oh, there we go.
You want to know what's funny? I remember when we were on air with one of the podcasts, and we got that text message, that Donald Trump text message. Do you remember that?
Oh my
yeah! I had
gosh.
somebody text me and be like, dude, you have that recorded. And I was like,
That's right.
I know, right? Like, it's just, it goes back to the exact moment and the exact time.
Oh,
And it was like one of those, like, we all got a text message.
Yeah,
We're like, what the
yeah.
fuck's going on? And I remember looking at it and I was like, holy shit, like, I went
Don't
back in my
forget to
brain
vote.
when that happened. So, yeah.
That's
Don't
funny.
forget to vote. Don't forget
Yeah,
to
it's
vote.
funny.
We need your vote.
So going back into that topic, what if you guys remember, and I forgot to put this in the notes. I should have. But
Is it what commercial do we remember?
yep, what is the not the best, but what is the most memorable commercial that you remember watching the Super Bowl that still is in your mind? That's like when you think of Super Bowl commercials, this is the one you're like, oh my god, that's so fucking dope. That was the best one. And also, let's start with this. What trailer? Movie trailer that you saw that was also memorable? What was we'll start with the trailer.
But
And then we'll end it with.
Nice. He's already
then we'll end it with the commercial.
guys,
So
I think he's already there.
that
was epic, though.
I'm so sorry. I tried to hold it in. It's just coming out. Bud.
All right, let's.
That was
start
good.
with you.
That was good.
So that's the commercial.
Oh my
that
gosh! Yeah, at least that's like the only one that I could really think of.
Yeah.
No man, Budweiser with the stupid iguanas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! It's like, how can you not remember that?
Frogs.
Oh,
It was frogs. Yeah.
Frogs? I thought it was iguanas.
No, it's frogs.
Oh man, I knew it was something like that, but whatever. I mean, it's just like that is still to this day embedded in my brain. Like, how could you not remember that.
Yeah.
And I think
This is
all
really
of
good.
us,
This is really good.
I think all of us from the 90s and whoever's watching this can honestly think about it and laughing.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
especially that one year, maybe it was a year or like around the same time frame, there's that one girl frog, you know.
I don't even
wise-
remember that.
I have a feeling that was like the following year.
So we have to come up with something. We gotta top this. Let's add a girl frog.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So I remember that.
Okay, nice, Tommy.
My commercial, simple.
Commercial.
There was no words spoken at all, and there's a kid running around in the Darth Vader.
Damn it, you took mine.
He's running around.
Okay, well, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
That's mine too.
Oh,
That's
dude,
mine
see,
too.
it's that good. It's that good when we both have the same commercial, dude. Not a single word spoken. And he's just walking up to things and being like,
You're right.
Yeah.
There were no dialogue.
no dialogue
at
at
all. It was just the theme
Yep.
of Darth Vader's
Yeah.
team, basically.
And
right?
then he does this to the car, and he goes,
Yeah, and and he looks around. Oh shit! He looks around, and it cuts to the parents in the kitchen, and they're like,
yeah, right. The dad's like,
"That's like,
you know, like one of
you see the
those.
car keys, the fucking thing." Oh god,
So good.
And what's great about that is the whole time their son was just going around. Trying to use the force
Yeah.
on everything,
Yeah.
on the dog, on the little the vacuum Roomba machine thing, everything. I think he was also in the laundry room. I think
Something.
It was,
TV? Maybe he's like this?
Mike
Yeah.
has it pulled up.
So
There you
good,
go.
dude.
See, there you go. He's
So
doing
first
it.
one, he's at a treadmill.
The treadmill is trying
Or
to
like
do
a
it.
elliptical,
And the
then he's
dog.
at the
Yep,
dog.
there's a dog.
Yep.
Yep. And he's like,
He
he's just
stops. And
there he
then
goes.
The
He-
washer and dryer. Now
washer.
the kid.
The little doll not doing nothing, and then he's just like,
Now
kid
he's
gives up.
It's a Volkswagen commercial, everybody. It's a
Okay.
Volkswagen. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. No dialogue.
No
No
dialogue,
dialogue
yeah.
whatsoever.
And then the guy comes home. Yeah, the guy comes home. He goes outside.
car.
The dad thinks he's gonna get a hug.
No,
He's like,
no, get out of my way."
get out of my way. And he's just there. He's like, trying to start it and shit. He's trying to
Warm
use
it
the
up.
force. And then
So great.
that's great. Oh man, he looked.
What
comes
happened?
around.
What happened?
Oh man, that's so good.
Yes.
So
So
my
great.
God.
That was
What did that say?
amazing.
2012 Passat?
2012. It's,
Jesus.
it's
man. So good.
this stupid thing here. It's Volkswagen Darth Vader 2011 Super Bowl. commercial.
2011.
So good.
Oh my gosh,
But
yeah.
it's still timeless. Still
Yeah,
timeless.
that is the one. I do remember the Budweiser one too. I remember that. but it wasn't until you started doing it that it
Right.
finally. I was like, oh my god, that commercial.
Yeah.
They're on bar.
But that Darth Vader commercial, like the fact that I'm also like a geek nerd stuff, like that one, like really.
Yeah.
Reeled it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just really. I was just like, oh my god, that's one of the best commercials ever that I've ever seen.
So
Oh
good.
my god, so good.
The one kind of like it's an honorable mention just because
Yeah.
there's so many people these days that are playing it safe with commercials, and Carl's Jr. still doesn't play it safe. Where they have like a lady that I think it was Paris Hilton, where she's eating a hamburger and washing a car at the same time in like a bikini.
Okay, right.
And you just sit there and you're like, oh, well, you know they're going to get like messages about this, like, oh, this is all sexist and whatever you want to call it. And I think Carl Jr. was like, 90% of the people that eat our hamburgers are all male. How is this sexist? And I was just like, wow. They,
Wow.
no apologies about it at all. Is it that the one right there?
Sorry, I'm
Is that the one?
watching this.
Is that the one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says Paris Hilton Carl's Jr. $6 burger commercial.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
Yep.
And she's washing a car.
Car,
She's
yeah,
washing
yeah.
a car. So, self-explanatory for
Yeah.
anybody. So that's
I like how she just squatted and had the hose in front of her. That was great.
yeah. So it's not the best commercial. I'm just saying it's an honorable mention because as a Super Bowl commercial, you're just like, oh wow, they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not being unapologetic. Just
Yeah.
like, here we go, hamburgers, male, hot chick.
Shake.
Yeah,
Car
pretty
wash.
much.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a good memory, but the fact that the Star Wars commercial stayed with me just shows how brilliant that commercial is. And I know there's other ones too that made me laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I forget most of them. They're not memorable, if anything. But as far as movie goes, I'm actually blanking out, to be honest with you, even now, because it's gotten to the point where
There's been so many.
yeah, that's the thing. There's been so many.
It's like a blur.
I don't have.
It's a blur.
Mine isn't a movie.
What's that?
A memorable one. It's not a movie for me. It was.
Yeah.
It was the
during
the Super Bowl. It was the Stranger Things 2
Oh,
trailer when it came out.
interesting.
And I was like,
Okay.
yes.
That's right. They did start doing TV shows also.
Yeah.
That's right.
When they did that one, I was like, oh my god!
Mm,
And they're
mm.
running down the street in their Ghostbuster costumes and stuff.
Oh,
and then the car
okay.
flies up, and I was like,
I remember now. I remember
So
now.
yeah,
Yep.
you just finished that series,
Yeah.
and then they put the next one on Super Bowl. I was like,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that was memorable for me.
Yeah, as far as movies, I guess TV shows too, I don't remember any TV shows at all. But movie-wise, I know there's several that was... There's always that like movie, you're like, oh my god, they're going to drop a new trailer. I got to see this freaking movie. There's a lot like that. But, okay, I remember... It wasn't a movie that I was really looking forward to, but at the time since I would just watch the Super Bowl to get to that trailer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's movies before the trailer I'm anticipating that comes up, and this was at the time where they were just showing, or not even at the time, but this was where the I want to say, I forget which Transformers movie it was. Oh, I remember. It's is it Age of Extinction? The one with when they introduced the Dinobots.
That sounds about right.
I think it was.
I think it's Age of Extinction when they introduced the Dinobots, and I was like, oh my god, that was a cool trailer.
I think it's 2017. I think.
No, it's not 2017.
14?
Maybe 14.
14?
Maybe
You want to know
13.
what's sad?
Maybe 14.
I don't think I've finished that in its entirety. I think like I've seen it all the way up to the T-Rex, and then I kind of stopped.
Yeah, that was the
So,
that was the trailer.
The
I was
movie
like,
or the trailer?
The movie.
I finished the whole movie. That's a great movie.
You like that?
it was alright. I was disappointed.
Yes, we talked about that before.
I remember seeing that, and I also remembered after seeing that trailer, you know, watched the movie eventually when it came out, and I was just like, they showed all the good parts!
Right.
And hence why I don't, you guys know this now, and for everyone listening and watching, I usually don't watch beyond the first official trailer anymore. And there's a certain, when I go watch the movie now, there's a certain excitement because I don't see everything anymore, and so the first time I see it, I'm just watching it for the very first time in theaters, and it just gives you this fresh take on it. You're just like, that was cool.
So if you want a fresh take on movies,
Don't
hire
watch
the JTP crew.
Yeah.
And I promise you, we'll make you a better fresh take.
It'll in a sense it'll make
true.
it'll be a much better experience too because you're not seeing everything.
Exactly.
So teaser trailer, cool because they don't really reveal anything at all. First official trailer is usually when they start revealing what the plot is. Second official trailer is usually more of the plot, and usually the second official trailer is targeted. And I'm just like speaking out of my ass here, but I feel like it's targeted. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more. It's targeted towards the mainstream people that want the people that are not educated. But let's like Miss Marvel and stuff. Like I know who Miss Marvel is, but I feel like once you get into the second official trailer, that's where like, okay, cool, this is who she is a lot more, and the people who's not a comic book fan or in that kind of world, they're like, okay, I get this trailer now because you're revealing more stuff.
Side note, I haven't seen any other newer trailers on that. I only saw the first one.
Oh, there we go. I mean, it's coming out in March. It's coming out literally in like a month.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know who she completely is, but I still want the excitement. So I don't want it to get ruined for me. Even like when I pass by at work and I pass by a TV and I see it, I'm like, nope, keep on walking, keep on walking. I haven't even seen the Spider-Man one. The new one.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't seen that one either because I'm just like, I just want to just be able to walk in and just watch it and just be like, oh. Okay.
And I know we've talked about this before too. Right. We've had this thing. What movie would you want to go dark in and just like see for the very first time, and no commercial or no trailers and all that stuff? Maybe we should revisit that again in one of these episodes.
Absolutely.
But with that said, there is one person that's going to be out of a certain role, but I feel like we should maybe save that next time.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we can, it'll be like a whole kind of topic with our other topic, and it'll all revolve around DC. So as of right now, besides this person being out of this character, we are about to go out also. So with that said, that is episode 103 of the Just Talk podcast.
Yes.
Thank you all for listening and watching. Follow us on Instagram at the Just Talk podcast. We're usually there. We're pretty active over there. Mike does a very
we all do
very well job. He does a very good job of keeping that updated and whatnot. Again, if you guys want to ask us anything or
anything personal.
Sure.
I don't know about him, man.
If you guys want to ask it, or bring a topic, if you guys want us to talk about something, you guys can totally hit us up over there. So follow us at Instagram at the Just Talk Podcast, or email us at the Just Talk Podcast 00@gmail.com. Okay, no, not at, just the Just Talk Podcast 00@gmail.com. You guys can email us there. Also, you guys can subscribe to us on iTunes, Castbox, Buzzsprouts, and Spotify. Whatever your choice is, we're all there. And YouTube also. So subscribe to us. It's just type in the Just Talk podcast. We should show up as Just Talk. I totally forgot to talk to you about that last week. We'll talk about it since Tommy's here now. Anyways, that is it.
That's it, guys.
To your left. And the mic.
Hey.
To your right, Tommy B. And I'm Richard Bendo.
And Dead Center.
This is the Just Talk Podcast, episode 103. Once again, thank you for listening and watching. Till next time, we're going silent.
See ya.
Bye.